Connecting to Life presents Thoughts on Depression with Yoram Mosenzon. Taken from the Nonviolent Communication workshop Fear, Guilt, Pain and Other Dear Friends. Ireland, June 2018.
Depression. And Nadia was just asking if depression is a feeling or if it's a combination of different things. Which immediately bring me into how actually to define what is a feeling. So for me, a feeling is a mental concept of sensation. When I say I'm angry, it's a certain naming of a certain territory of sensations. You know, this kind of like. If I say sad, it's a mental concept of certain territory of sensation, certain kind of. At the end, I'm not even interested in feelings, I'm interested in sensation. Feeling as I see it. I hear often people say, come on, speak about your feelings, speak about your feelings. But really, feelings in itself is very little amount of information. Feelings is just how my body is communicating to me something. That's all the job of a feeling. Feeling is how my body is communicating to me my needs. If I feel sad, for example, it's how my body is trying to call me, oh Yoram, there is something that is really important for you. Kind of the sadness is how my body is almost pulling me towards this life quality that I want to care for. Or pain. I find it very beautiful way how the body is, pain is a certain constriction. Like ouch. If comes through my dancing breath. For example, if somebody would give me a fist in the stomach, there will be pain. And it's kind of how my body is like, in a way, I see pain as a mechanism, I see it as a way how the body is kind of pulling me in. It's kind of a certain protective mechanism to bring me closer to myself, to take care of something. For me, that's really what my understanding of depression. Depression is a certain pull in. This is why I love depression so much. It's how my body is pulling me to come closer to myself. Until I hear the message. And this is where I see there is a little kind of tragedy in the natural mechanism, which goes like this: I feel depressed, and the way how I learn how to deal with it is to think, what's wrong with me? Can you imagine how do I feel when I think, what's wrong with me? How is it in my body? What's wrong with me?
Shame.
There's additional contraction.
Yeah. I feel depressed.
Even more.
Yeah. And then, when this comes more, then I think, shit, after all these years of NVC, I'm still depressed. Can you imagine how do I feel then?
Down.
Yeah, I feel down. And then I think, okay, I'm a hopeless case. Anyway, nothing will happen with me. How do I feel when I think this thought?
Suicidal.
Depressed. Feeling in itself cannot stay there more than, when feeling is welcome, it cannot stay more than about 10 seconds. But it can be created and recreated and recreated and recreated. That's my understanding of the phenomena of depression. Marshall used to say that depression is not to know what I need and what I want. We used to call it cognitively arrested opportunity. Can you follow this sentence?
No.
For me, it took a few years to start to get what you mean.
Yeah.
Cognitively arrested opportunity.
Alternatives. Cognitively arrested alternatives.
It works better for
No,
you?
but this is how I learned it. But
Alternatives. So, like, there is a natural process how the body, I feel depressed, how my body is actually pulling me closer to get in touch with. For example, I need honesty, and then to let it flow naturally. Depression is a cognitively arrested opportunity. Cognitively arresting the opportunity, the natural flow. I'm depressed and I think, what's wrong with me? It takes it into a different kind of process, and the natural process, I feel depressed, is bringing me closer to myself to create. The main thing that I see when I work with people who are depressed, like the challenge, is to really catch the painful stories. And then when I catch the painful story, I want to do something very, very simple, is to translate it. I'm not trying to solve the depression. I'm not trying to get rid of the depression. I'm trying just to take the beautiful message of the depression. And so, for example, I did this process, I did it in a quick way with Samantha this morning. Remember when she said, I'm worthless? Remember that moment?
Yeah.
And then you remember what I did with her then?
you have used giraffe.
You
have used the giraffe as well.
Yeah. Like what I did is that when there is a part that say, I'm worthless. It means basically there is a conflict between two parts of myself. There is a part that is judging, and there is a part that is being judged. And the language in which the conflict is being held is the most horrible language humanity has created so far. So what I do, like when I'm doing in mediation, it's very simple. I'm just translating the message and pass a beautiful message. And jackals always try to help the system, only that they help in a tragic language. So I'm just translating it, I'm caressing the jackal. I say, wow, so dear Jackal, is it that you really want to wake her up? To take care of kindness. Like kindness is so important to you, and you so want, like you are crying desperately to wake her up to this. Is that dear Jackal? Yeah. And then I just pass the beautiful message of the Jackal. And in this, what I really like to do often with people is as a way for the body to notice the difference, to give the same message using both languages. I said to her, yes, a worthless case, and how does that feel in the body? I will give you exactly the same message just using a different language. I really want to help you to take care of it, because I know that you love kindness so much. And I want to help you to kind of wake up to how dear that quality is for you, and to see together how we can support you to touch this quality. Would you like my help? It's exactly the same message, just using the... And then I ask her, how does that feel in your body? And she said, that feels empowering. A cognitively arrested opportunity. It's a process that I call learning to, or tilting towards speaking with myself compassion. Speaking with myself a language of love. As I said, I think this morning, that the most violent war zone that I see on the planet is within human beings. And as for myself, when I started to really get this work, I stopped trying to heal myself. Healing in itself is a tricky word. Do you try to heal yourself? And that's kind of the, in the realm of self-development, that's kind of the highest goal, to heal yourself. You just notice how when you say, I want to heal myself, how your body reacts to this sentence.
It's broken. There's something wrong, and you have to change it.
I think pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
I was going to say some pressure.
Yeah.
I'm doing NVC already for 15 years and I'm still not healed. Demand.
Yeah.
I really remember when my girlfriend, she did a healing dialogue with Marshall. And I was very happy. Finally, she will be healed. So she did the dialogue, and then she came back home, and indeed, she seemed healed. About 3 days after, she was again the same bitch. I was very disappointed. I didn't get the chance to say that to him, and I'm regretting now. Honestly, I never saw a person being healed. For me, there is a very gentle, slow movement of clarity, of compassion, of inner clarity. I'm not searching to heal myself. Honestly, what I'm searching is to slowly... You know this voice that is talking in your head all day long? You know this voice? Little voice, all the time commenting about yourself, about others. There is a little voice that is speaking. And this voice, I imagine, is speaking a certain language. Speaking English, your little voice? Or Polish, or... I find that very, very incredible to realize that my voice is speaking a language. Can you imagine how influential it is, the language you learn, on your quality of life? And basically, we all learn Jaka language, so the little voice is speaking Jaka language to me all day long. So really, the core of my interest is to slowly, that my inner voice is learning to speak to me in a compassionate language, in a language of life. And this is, I'm not expecting my little voice to learn to be a perfect giraffe in this lifetime. But I'm amazed by the power I'm getting with each little step in that direction. The sense of inner power that it gives me. Basically, that's kind of what I'm doing all day long. Like I hear my little voice saying to me, Yoram, you are a crap. And then I'm like, oh, you're Jackal. You're trying to help me. Yeah. I'm not trying to help you, are crap. You're really disappointed about how I was teaching today. Yeah, you're completely lost them today. Oh. You're disappointed that you're worried that I lost them. Yeah, I'm very worried because I know that this is what is important to you. Oh, thank you, Jack. You want to help me be very alert with how to catch every human being and to meet them in beauty. Yes, exactly. This is what I was saying. Thank you. To remind me how dear that is. Oh, yeah. But I see that, like, my little voice is slowly actually, and that's a very sweet thing, that it starts to actually automatically speak giraffe to me. Still, I would say about 70% of the text come in Jackal still, after 18 years that I'm obsessed with it. At least 25% is incredible. And I don't know if you know, but like, depression was kind of an important part of my life. I was constantly in kind of a movement. And the last time, like in 2007 or 8, was the last time when I wanted to die. And somehow, I don't know how it kind of disappeared from my life. It might come back. I look forward to it. But, yeah, there is something like, when I want to die, it's a very beautiful moment. It's kind of because something really at the core is being touched. I really love depression. I still have depression in a much more light scale. For me, very often, my depression is connected that without notice, I lost my honesty. I become a nice, dead, polite person. Then I want to die because it's kind of like it's meaningless to me. That's very often my version of depression. Without notice, I became polite. And I lost